Kumasi, the Honorable Osei Isibe is my guest on State of Affairs tonight. We've come to Kumasi to do a number of productions on tramadol and its abuse, and also where to go in Kumasi. In the last how many hours, some of you have been telling me exactly what you want to know from the mayor of Kumasi, especially for residents here in Kumasi. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, so most residents are concerned about the state of roads in the city. They say that it is getting worse. It is fast deteriorating. What is the plan for the roads that fall under your jurisdiction?
Well, first of all, thank you for moving all your equipment from Accra to Kumasi just to come and interview us to know the state of affairs in Kumasi. I must say our biggest challenge in Kumasi has to do with the roads. And it's not only in Kumasi, the whole of Ashanti region. As you are aware, Ghana, we have 10 regions. And of all the 10 regions put together, Ashanti region, we have the poorest roads. Since I took office, that has been my biggest challenge. A lot of meetings have been held, and we forwarded a lot of materials and a lot of information to the presidency. But thank God that now Kumasi people can now breathe. Why? Because the president, in his own wisdom and in his capacity, has helped us by giving us some roads. So just about a week ago, we had the opportunity of having a meeting with the roads minister. He came and visited even the king to brief the king about the roads that has been advertised and those have been awarded. And truly, within the shortest time, Kumasi people are going to see things for themselves. Now we have an internal ring road or inner ring road. Almost all the inner ring road have been given out on contract. And once we finish the internal ring road, then it means that our number one phase, that is the ring, is going to be asphalted, and is also going to help us a lot. It's also going to relieve us from the problem of congestion. Apart from the inner ring road, there are a lot of contract that has been given, one in the area of pothole patching and resealing. I can take you through some of the routes that has been given out. Now we have pothole patching and sectional repairs on Oforikrum, Bantima, Subin Submetro, and others. It has been awarded, and the name of the contractor is Multiwave. Then the second one that has been awarded is also grading works on Tafu, Pankrono, Swami, and Menshia. All has also been given out to a contractor. Then the third one has to do with pothole patching, sectional repairs, grading works on Tafu, Pankrono, Swami, Menshia roads. Okay. The fourth has to do with resealing works on Oforikrum, Bantima, Subin Submetro, and others. Then the fifth has to do with resealing works on Tafu, Pankrono, Swami, Menshia. Then the sixth has to do with resealing works on Asukwa, Kwadaso, Inshayeso. So all these areas has been given out. Not only the pothole patching and the resealing, and some asphalt too has been given. But like an Oliver Twist, we will still demand for more, and we will still ask for more, because this will not solve all the problems.
All right. Now, I just want to go back to what you mentioned earlier. You said that the residents are going to see improvements in the shortest possible time. How short? Is it by the end of the year, early part of next year, by the end of next year? If you were asked to give them timelines, would you be able to do that?
Yes, I'll be able to do that because, well, if you are moving from Accra to Kumasi, first of all, you will see about 3 major roundabouts. That is from Ejoso coming. It has been there for more than 10 years. It has created a lot of problems. When the regional minister took office, that was the first challenge that confronted him. But he made assurance and promised the people that it was going to be removed. Okay. But as for roads, it is the only project that cannot be done within the shortest time. Because first of all, if you complain about it and the authorities accept to do it, they first of all have to do the engineering, and a whole lot of things would have to go through. Right. But fortunately for us, the project has been awarded on contract, and the contractor is on site, and work has even started. So that one is to tell the people that from Ejoso coming, the job has been started. And talking about the routine maintenances and the asphalt projects, I know by the end of this week, some of the contractors are going to start in Kumasi.
Okay, that's fantastic. Now, I want to move away from the roads to hawkers. Because I know you've been battling the hawkers for some time now. How is it going? Has peace prevailed now? Are they willing to do exactly what you directed them to do?
Another challenge that also confronted the assembly has to do with congestion. Congestion can be looked at it from two angles. That is the vehicular congestion and the human congestion.
Right.
And the human congestion has to do with selling on pavements and selling on unapproved places. So when I took office, the first thing I did was to have an engagement with the stakeholders. So in my office here, we had a meeting with the major players. Okay. Talking about the major players, you can name them. Petty traders, they have an association. They have United Petty Traders Association. They have movements, e-movement and others. So we all converged at our assembly hall and had discussion with them that where they are making their ends meet, it's not appropriate. Because they, even though they are trying to make an ends meet, but yet they rather subject themselves to the hardships. And therefore, if nothing is done about it, they don't have a future. We had a meeting here, so I demanded an answer from them as to how they themselves want the problem to be solved. The suggestion and the answers that came from them was that, can you give us an alternative place? Then quickly we will move. I said, where do you want to go? Then some of them suggested race course. Okay. At that time, race course has been given out. The race course belonged to the king, but it has been given out. So we sent a delegation to the king. For we know you've given the place out, but rather we need the place to solve major problem. He looked at us and said, well, even though it has been given to an investor, but the investors are not many comparing to the problem that you want to solve. So if the project is going to be given to 3 investors, and now from what you are telling me, it means that more than 7,000 people are going to get businesses to do there, then I, the king of the land, I am going to stop them and rather give it to KMA, which he did. So immediately he gave it to us. KMA, we took it upon ourselves, and we contracted a contractor to go and work there, because they are guided by history. But years ago, when they were asked to move there, the authorities just moved them to the place where it was rather unkept, and a lot of hardships faced them. So this time around, they will not go until they see a change in our approach. We promise them that this time they will see something different. And true to our word, if anybody should visit the place now, you know that we did the graveling. So we gave it to a contractor who did the graveling of all the places. The road has been fixed, light has been provided, and security on top. So immediately after that, then we also engaged them again. We went there, did the distribution of the whole places with the major stakeholders. And at the end of the day, KMA registered about 7,400 traders moving there, getting themselves registered.
So they've all moved now? No,
they've gone there, they've registered, they've put their tables there, and after that, then they came back again to the route.
Why?
Why? Because they are comfortable doing business at where they are now.
Okay, so that is plain indiscipline.
That is the reason why we are applying minimum force to make sure we move them there. Because KMA, we were also confronted with a lot of issues. Right. For instance, the contractor who was working on the KGTR project needed to have access to the road to do asphalting around the KGTR. And we all know that they were selling on the streets. They were selling on the streets. So now, if you visit there, the whole place has been condoned. Now they are working on asphalting the road. So there's a need, there's an urgent need to move them there. We are not harassing them, neither are we depriving them of their livelihood, but rather we are creating, and we have created enabling environment, and we want to create a sustainable business for them at a place where they will be comfortable in doing business.
Okay. Okay. So you said that you're using a minimum force. What exactly is minimum force?
No, that using minimum force meaning that bringing the security apparatus on top.
Okay.
That is bringing the police and using our security guards to make sure that the recalcitrant ones are moved to that place to go and sell.
Okay. And has it been successful?
It has.
Still work in progress?
It's still a challenge, but we are still working on it.
Okay, but you have bylaws here.
We have bylaws that we see whenever a bylaw is not implemented for a very long time, it brings a whole lot of challenges. Because some people have sold on the street for more than 5 years.
Okay.
So to them, it's a normal thing. So why do you want to get us off at this time?
Okay.
So it needs a lot of education. It needs a lot of education. You see, the Kumasi project, even though we have had a lot of projects, but I don't want to bring in politics here. But at the same time, I needed to use politics because I want to explain things better. Right. There has been an administration that has been in place for the past 8 years, and they wanted to lose some markets for Kumasi, for the metropolis, which was a good idea. But anybody who has read about Kukoyok Declaration will let you know that even though you want to do projects, but projects should not bring hardships. But at a go, KJTR market was collapsed, Tafo market was collapsed, Atonsu market was collapsed within the same period, meaning that all those who were working at that time, even though they were going to see a new market, but because a lot of preparation was not made for them, they have to move out. And they only move out, and where they can have a place to do their business was on the pavement and on the streets. But as we speak now Atonsu market is ready, Tafo market is ready, Racecourse is ready. So it's not like they don't have alternative places now. Previously, they didn't have. So they will be justified.
What happened to the market your predecessor started?
No, we see some of them are ready.
Okay.
KJTR is still ongoing.
Okay.
But as for the Atonsu one, it's ready. And even when I came, I couldn't distribute it because the number was so much as compared to the facility that was there.
Okay.
So what I did was to engage them, to talk to them, and so I brought in a private partner.
Okay.
And through DOT, the private investor has been able to also put up a new one in addition. So now, comfortably, it can be distributed, and we've asked them to go for it. Okay.
That's fantastic. I still want to stay on these markets because, I mean, if you look at the way, and it's one thing you've been talking about for a while, the menace of these hawkers and their presence on the streets and how they're posing a challenge to the development of the city. Now, you say that you're using minimum force and then educating them, and so hopefully they will move out. Now, apart from that, would you say that as an assembly, before you came in, as an assembly, this institution did a good job by educating these traders? Because if bylaws have been there for so long and traders are on the streets selling for 5-10 years and they are unaware of the repercussions of staying on the streets, would you credit the KMA of doing its job of educating the people or failing to do their job?
See, management, anytime you are given a position to manage, definitely it's like you take over the assets and you take over the liabilities. Okay. So whenever you are confronted with the liabilities, what you need to do is to put up a strategy in place to get a problem solved. So I came and met a problem. Okay. And as a manager, the only thing I need to do is to make sure I team up with my able leadership for us to come out with a strategy. And that is exactly what we've done by coming up with a strategy, educating the people that, look, their life is very important. And as much as they have to eat, we as the assembly will need to provide them a better place. Okay. So that is why we have provided them a better place, and we are rather using the minimum force to move them to the place where we think is going to be congenial for them.
What if you do not succeed in moving them with this minimum force you talk about? What happens?
we will succeed. We will succeed because, you see, we are working with human beings. And the most important thing to do to achieve success is education. If you are able to let the user know the benefit that is going to accrue to him, as human beings as they are, a lot of them will definitely abide by it. And those who will not, that is the time you need to use the laws. You need to apply the bylaws. Okay. But now we are using two tools. The number one tool is that of the education, and then the second one is that of the enforcement. Oh. Enforcement is also a means of bringing sense to the people.
Okay. You're watching State of Affairs on GH1 TV. We're taking a short break. I'm talking to the mayor of Kumasi, the Honorable Osei Esibe Entry. When we come back, we'll find out if Kumasi is still a garden city.
Sunshine Day, drink up a celebration. We're together. Join your hands in harmony. Yeah, yeah. Everybody, do what you're doing. Smile and have a sunshine day.
Everybody, start every day with delicious, nutritious Cowbell coffee and have a sunshine day.
Everybody, drink our coffee. Smile and have a sunshine day. Woo.
Sometimes it's gonna hurt. Sometimes you don't feel good as you know you'll feel. But this is what you want, and if you want it, you gotta go hard for it. You don't have to stop. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. I don't find time to run. I make time to run. You are powerful. Feel like a champion. You better run with more life until you hit that finish line. When nothing goes right, go run. It's supposed to be hard. The hard is what makes it great. Run energy drink. Run to greatness.
Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health, not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This ad has been approved by the FDA.
Welcome to Appointed Time Screen Printing, our home of printing solutions. Set a ban of advanced screen printing, large format printing, heat transfer, digital embroidery, and a general printing app. Appointed Time Screen Printing should be your first choice. Your quality modern machines are your day printing, and here to me printing of Flexi, SAV, caps, and the key holders in Hey, share. Because saying I am printing me. Appointed Time Screen Printing. A picking crime.
Cadbury Choco, ne down the yasronko, ne buone da fem. 20 grams ya 50 pesos, 550 grams ya 9 cedis 50 pesos, 1.1 kilograms ya 18 cedis 50 pesos. Cadbury Choco, ne down the yasronko, ne buone da fem.
Digitization means more interconnected risks to every organization. Businesses of the future require integrated, comprehensive view of risk to make good decisions. Most organizations manage their governance, risk, and compliance in isolated silos. Yet, the regulatory and accountability obligations require managing these in an integrated way. Transform your company for the future. Be at the Africa GRC Summit 2018 to learn how all your business units can work together for effective GRC.
Nukro, Alomodie, Edumuna, Edimunae, Saya Alomo Vitessa, Massa, forget it.
Casapreco Alomo Betes, authentically African.
Sa pepe.
Madina, Madam, Aula, O road.
Be your own DJ with MTN Music Plus. Download and install the MTN Music Plus app from Google Play Store and stream your customized playlist anytime, anywhere. MTN Music Plus. Just press play.
Many power and fear doom watching, and says up pin for noon, and what drinking spots be
and don't go bitters, a demufua.
Akoto loves his family. He works hard to take care of them. So Ifya, his young daughter, can become the doctor she's always dreamt of. And Akosia, his lovely wife, can open the nursery school she talks about all the time. He can see a happy, relaxed retirement in the years to come. But life can get in the way of our dreams. Unable to work, how do your dreams come to pass? Don't let life's tragedies get in the way of your family's dreams. Get a life insurance policy from Star Life today. Star Life, your solid partner for life.
Autistic children's dreams come true during Verna Mineral Water rebranding launch.
Most of the times, people ignore such kids and they tag them as evil kids or they are cursed and all that, but that's not true. Putting a smile on every child's face, regardless of their condition, is a major responsibility of our society, and I am pleased to be a part of this today.
In this life, the best thing you can do is to make someone else happy, or basically make people around you happy.
Drinking and buying Verna mineral water, we help many people out there, like our beautiful sisters over here, and all the many people that Verna mineral water helps.
Here we go. Purchase a bottle of the all-new, sleek and stylish Verna natural mineral water today and support a worthy cause. Verna mineral water, changing people's lives.
A brave African queen fought many battles to protect her family from hungry mosquitoes that may carry malaria parasites. Until one day she discovered something new.
Discover new Raid Day and Night, 3 sprays on 1 poster for 24-hour mosquito protection for the whole family. The future of mosquito protection is here. The revolution will be peaceful. Raid Day and Night. It's good to be tough.
SC Johnson, a family company.
When a man starts his day with new Nivea Men Cool Kick Body Lotion and Deodorant.
Double kick of coolness, 48-hour moisture and protection.
So, when she tells you to carry a handbag in public, play it cool. When Sia from finance gets all up in your grill,
what you gonna do?
Play it cool. Nivea Men, it starts with you.
Now available in a body cream for instant cooling and intense moisture.
Welcome back to State of Affairs. We are in Kumasi and we are coming to you from the Mayor's office, the Honorable Osei Esibe Intwi. All right, so, I mean, for the longest time, we've all known Kumasi to be the garden city. Is it still a garden city?
Well, it's good to hear that. Kumasi has been a garden city for a very long time. But you see, it was not just given, we earned it. And we earned it because of some of the things that Queen Elizabeth saw at the time of his visit. When Queen Elizabeth visited Kumasi, he saw three key things. The first one was about the trees that he saw, and the neatness of the place. And at that time he said the way things were so done orderly in Kumasi. So he met with his people and said, wow, I have been to several places, but if the city that I visited, the way they've done things so orderly, the way they've decorated the city with flowers and the trees, there's no city like that in West Africa. That is the reason why he said Kumasi is a garden city of West Africa. But as of today, indeed, it's really challenged. About 50 years ago, Kumasi was on top. It was day in and day out, Kumasi was attracting tourists. Why? Because they wanted to come and see. I read about one Dr. Jones who visited Kumasi from London. And when he went back, and the journalists came and met him at the airport, trying to find out what he saw. And instantly what he said is that, I have read about heaven, and I've been taught about heaven. I have also read about Genesis, and a lot has been said about the Garden of Eden. I have visited Kumasi, and to anybody who have not seen the Garden of Eden, and anybody who have not seen the heaven that we've read about, his only advice is for that person to visit Kumasi. This gives a picture of what he saw 50 years ago. But that is something that we have not, we as a nation and we as people living in Ashanti region in Kumasi, this wonderful legacy, we didn't take active interest in maintaining it. All what I can say is that as Ghanaians and as people living in Ashanti region with our capital in Kumasi, we didn't take active interest in maintaining the flowers and in maintaining the city as compared to what our predecessors did. But the only assurance is that this current assembly has started a project, and the project is named Operation Keep the City Clean and Green. We have realized that we need to bring back the glory once again.
Okay.
Why? Because if you visit Kumasi, there are a lot of hotels in Kumasi. Then the question that you ask yourself, why are there so many hotels in Kumasi? They are there because tourists like Kumasi and they visit Kumasi. So having this at the back of our mind, the current assembly, we've taken it upon ourselves. And it's like a project. We are fighting it like a project. So now, from last year up to this year, we've planted more than 10,000 trees. We've planted more than 10,000 trees. The education is also ongoing. And what is also fascinating is that, for once, all the workers in the assembly have also taken it upon ourselves and elected honorable members and the government appointees. We all move out. We all move out just to go and clean the environment for people to know. We started with in Shayeso, where we went in our numbers, cleaned the area to send a message, and after that we planted the trees. At that time we used to have 9 sub-metros, so we were moving from one sub-metro to the another sub-metro. Right. The purpose of it was that we want to make a statement that the time has come that we need to rise and keep the city clean again. And one interesting thing is that a lot of people are buying into it. The first NGO that came on board was Rivers and Water Bodies, Nana Jomo Sapon. He heard the statement and came on board. And one of the projects, he sponsored the project. And immediately he left in. Then the SDA church also came in. Methodists have also followed. And now the banks have also come in with their support. The first bank that came to support the project was NIB. NIB came and gave us 60,000 Ghana cedis in support of the tree planting exercise. Immediately they left. Royal Bank also heard it. And they also went and bought the cages which we used to protect the trees. They also went and bought it and brought it to the assembly. Now Fidelity have also heard the good news. And Fidelity is also sponsoring dustbin project.
Okay.
And dustbin project. So this is to tell you that now a lot of people are coming in. KNUST is also partnering with they are partnering with KMA in the same area to help in the promotion of Operation Keep the City Clean and Green. Very soon we will be launching it. Now we have not even officially launched the project.
So all this is an attempt to reclaim your past glory as a garden city, because it's really become a pale shadow of its former self. Now you talked about what made Kumasi a garden city. You mentioned the greenery, the serenity of Kumasi, and you've addressed that. You talked about sanitation, which is tied to the planting of trees. And then you mentioned orderliness.
Yeah.
It's something that's missing in Kumasi. I mean, I've been here for just a couple of days, and even the way your drivers behave on the street, I mean, it's nothing better to what we see in Accra anyway. It's the same. But in claiming this glory, what's the plan for, you know, instilling discipline, not just in the hawkers, but for everyone who lives in the city?
You see, the fight is not only towards the hawking, but it's a general fight. It's a general fight against indiscipline. For once, we've had opportunity of forging ahead with the 24 unions. Since I came, we've had not less than 7 meetings with them. First of all, to let them know that we need to change the way we do things in the metropolis. And now, gradually, we are winning the battle. Because initially, they used to be parking anywhere. But now, there has been a roadmap. We have all agreed and we've all signed a memorandum of understanding. So as of now, we are all in agreement as to where each station is to do their business. So the reason why recently you heard about some of the drivers talking on the air that, well, we are harassing them, we are disturbing, it wasn't a question of harassment. That is the reason why I didn't come out, but it was rather the unions themselves who came out, that people should not mind them, because those who have found themselves are those who are not obeying the rules. Those who are obeying the rules are not being sought by the police, but those who were arrested were those who wanted to do things their own way. So what I would say is that there's a challenge also there, and the challenge is that a lot of people want to do things their own way, but the assembly will not tolerate that. Okay, now I'm going through this plan of yours here. You talk about improving urban transport facilities. And since we're talking about drivers, I'd want you to comment on that. I mean, when you say you're improving transport facilities, what exactly are you doing? See, if you want to improve upon urban transport, 4 things comes to mind. The first one has to do with the roads, and that is what is being addressed. And the second one has to be with where they will do their businesses, identifying the key areas. Because now we know a lot of passengers come from the other regions, and even in Kumasi, the neighboring countries also passes through Kumasi. So you need to find a place for them, you need to find a place for those who do business internally. So now we've been able to do that. Now if you come to Kumasi, we know where you can get Accra Station, and you know where you can get that of Sunyani. We've done all these mappings for them. So the next thing to do is to continue with the education for the passengers to know where they need to get their businesses, where they need to get the vehicles to where they want to go. And again, to the urban transport, if you want to improve them, then there must be a collaboration between the assembly and the operators, which we are also working on that. And there was something that was missing in Kumasi, which has been enjoyed in Accra for all these years. Accra, you see these Ayalolo buses running everywhere, and it has helped the transport business in Accra for a very long time. This year we make a case. We also made our case to the Minister for Transport, and he heard our plea. So as at now, we have really forwarded about 3. And 12 are on its way coming, just to come and beef up the transport. Because in the morning, workers find it very difficult in getting vehicles to where they want to go.
Okay, that's really cool. Okay, I'm still going to stay on your plan here and just drift, slowly. The youth here, just like any part of the country, do complain about jobs, that there aren't enough jobs. I mean, we've heard your government tout the number of jobs they have created. Some have questioned those numbers. But for your jurisdiction, would you say that job creation has been real?
Well, job creation has been real because just about 3 weeks ago, the Minister of Agric came here and had a meeting with the press just to take them through the numbers, to take them through the number that their outfit has been able to recruit.
Okay.
So there was a board there which they did all the calculations and all the necessary questions were asked. And at the end of the day, all the journalists that came there were convinced that it's real.
Were they?
They were all convinced. The reason is that he came with a directorate and each director was there. And any question that comes in, they prove with records. They prove with records. And you see, in Ghana, if you really want to affirm whether there has been unemployment or not, there's a simple way you can get it. And it's through SNET. It's through SNET. You can just go to SNET and you'll be able, they will provide you with all the information about the new registrations, because you can't start working without getting a SNET number. And you also ask a question as to whether the unemployment situation, as to whether we are solving our problems. I would say that Kumasi or Ashanti is not an island. So whatever is being enjoyed in Accra, we are also fighting to get it.
Okay.
So with all the opportunities that the government is creating, fortunately for us, just last Saturday, the president came and launched another big project here. That is Operation Recruiting more than 100,000 people, 100,000 jobs. So to me, the youth in the country should only exercise little restraint. Very soon, all those who want to get jobs are going to get it.
Okay, I'm just going to push you just a little further because you say that the Agric Minister was here. He took the journalists through exactly what they have done. Now, you sit here as the mayor of Kumasi. So just in your territory, would you be able to tell us how many jobs have been created? How many people have moved from unemployed or underemployed to full-time employment? Would you be able to tell me?
Well, I'll be able to tell you because you see, governance is a process.
Right.
What the people in Kumawu will enjoy is not what Kumasi people will enjoy. For instance, talking about planting for food and jobs. When it comes to planting for food and jobs, definitely those in the villages are going to have the advantage than we in the urban. Because we in the urban, now you know, we have problem with the land. So therefore, a lot will not be said here.
Okay.
But at the same time, we are doing business because in the area of fertilizer supplies, because it is Kumasi that the people in the villages will come and buy the fertilizer. So we are rather benefiting from the sale of fertilizers. We are rather benefiting from the cutting of the fertilizer from here to the villages. So in a way, we are enjoying even more financially than those in the villages who are now counting themselves about the numbers, the huge numbers. Just last 3 days ago, fortunately for me, it happened at my backyard. That is the youth. The youth insecurity, they pass out in their numbers. And here, I am going to benefit more than those in the villages. Because when you talk about the security, definitely we can go in for more. And there are more than 800 youth graduated.
All right. Now let's move away from that and look at revenue mobilization for the KMA. How has it been so far since you took over?
Yes, revenue is very key for the survival of any assembly. It depends upon how you are able to improve upon your IGF. So when I came together with my abled technocrats, we sat down, we analyzed, went into the records, and we saw that there was the need to do things differently. So rather, we deviated from the past, and we've been able to even created a new directorate to manage our revenue. Now we have a revenue accountant, expenditure accountant, and we have the overall accountant that supervises their activities, and we have data collections. So with the innovations, it has rather helped the assembly a lot. Now if you move into our revenue department, we have 3 main divisions. We have the assessment division, we have the collection division, and we have the monitoring division. And just introducing this dynamics, last year we were able to achieve 98% of our budget. So it tells you the improvement that have come into the system. And we are not relaxing. We are moving forward because we know we want to take our destiny into our own hands. Now we are collaborating with a lot of agencies. Fidelity has come on board, and Fidelity is also going to help us in modernizing the way we do our business by helping us with the use of point-of-sale device.
Right.
So this is the level that we are going.
Okay. I've been told that there have been 5 assemblies carved out of the KMA. Is that not affecting your revenue in any way?
No, it's not. You see, assembly works are in twofold. You see, we do development, and there are a lot of things that we do. Now, 5 major assemblies have been crafted out. But when the revenue source is taken, you should also be mindful that an expenditure is also being taken. So even though we would have loved to be big, but now that a lot are going, at the same time, we will have the capacity to manage and manage effectively what is left.
Okay.
And one advantage is that we still have the central market with us. We have the KGTR with us, and we have the King also with us.
You just had to add that one. Okay, now let's go to another thing that I'm sure doesn't make you happy, doesn't make the King happy, doesn't make anybody in Kumasi happy. And it's not just a problem with Kumasi. In Accra, we are being swallowed by filth. And Kumasi is no exception as well. You are also battling refuse. And what's the plan? I mean, it's not a very pleasant sight driving through some of your cities and seeing how much filth has engulfed so many of the communities, and they are left unattended to. They are not collected. When we come back from the break, I would want you to comment on that and what the plan is to rid the city of filth. We'll be right back.
Lomo Silva, amazing new bottle, same authentic taste, natural herbs, smooth and minty. Drink responsibly.
With MTN Momo, you can take your bank with you everywhere you go. Dial *170# and follow the prompts. Connect your bank account to your Momo wallet to load and transfer money between your wallet and your bank account. Take your bank with you everywhere you go with MTN Momo.
No.
The Cowbell Vita-Rich formula has been stolen. Get it back at all costs.
Great tasting Cowbell with Vita-Rich has the 28 vitamins and minerals you need to be at the top of your game. Delicious, nutritious Cowbell with Vita-Rich, our milk.
Welcome to SolarTech, the #1 manufacturer of innovative products in power protection. The SolarTech Maxima UPS will provide clean, high-level quality power to fully protect mission-critical devices such as sensitive networks, computer centers, servers, telecom applications, as well as industrial applications. The Maxima UPS has an eco-mode operation for energy saving and smart battery charger designed to optimize battery performance. It has an output factor of 0.8 and a wide input range of 110 volts to 300 volts. The SolarTech Maxima UPS comes in 3 kVA to 6 kVA models. Other modules are available on request. Remember, stay original. Buy SolarTech. SolarTech, the power to protect.
When a man starts his day with new Nivea Men Cool Kick Body Lotion and Deodorant.
Double the kick of coolness, 48-hour moisture and protection.
So, when she tells you to carry a handbag in public, play it cool. When Sia from finance gets all up in your grill,
What you gonna do?
play it cool. Nivea Men, it starts with you.
Now available in a body cream for instant cooling and intense moisture.
Akoto loves his family. He works hard to take care of them. So Ifya, his young daughter, can become the doctor she's always dreamt of. And Akosia, his lovely wife, can open the nursery school she talks about all the time. He can see a happy, relaxed retirement in the years to come. But life can get in the way of our dreams. Unable to work, how do your dreams come to pass? Don't let life's tragedies get in the way of your family's dreams. Get a life insurance policy from Star Life today. Star Life, your solid partner for life.
Enton many pa wonya mfie dumwoche ensesa apemfo num ewo drinking spots bia
And don't go bitters. Edemufua.
Welcome back to State of Affairs. I'm here with the mayor of Kumasi. All right, so let's talk about filth in your city, because I understand, and it's not just from witnesses' account, but it is a fact on the ground that some of the communities under the KMA is engulfed or are engulfed in filth. They're being swallowed by filth. The refuse are there, heaps of refuse. They are left uncollected. And these areas, for instance, are Patasio, Dinehu, Kwadaso. What is happening to these communities and others that are battling filth?
Well, thank you for this question. Kumasi generates about 1,500 tons of waste a day. That is what I came to meet. And because the population continued to increase, so day in and day out, the 1,500 also moves up. But I must say that now, averagely, out of the 1,500, we are able to collect 1,300 a day.
Okay.
Every day we are able to collect 3,300, and the remaining add up to the number, and we are still move them. So, like you rightly said, filth is a challenge, but we are not swallowed in filth. We are not swallowed in filth in the sense that day in and day out, we have people cleaning the city every day. In the morning they are there cleaning, and in the night they are there cleaning. But yet, we still have a problem with an attitudinal, which we are trying to make sure to deal with it. That is why initially I told you that we are about to launch a project, and we started working on the project, Operation Keep the City Clean and Green. We've started moving from places to places to educate them.
Are the residents buying it?
They are. Because in the morning around 7 o'clock, if you are in Kumasi, you will not see any filth anywhere. But as the day goes by, then people start littering everywhere.
Why?
Like I said, it's an attitude. That is why we are working on it. But a month ago, if you heard Kumasi, we jailed about 11 people for a month each. Why? Because we want to enforce the bylaw. So it's not a question of harassment. That is why now, day in and day out, you hear people being sent to court, people being jailed here and there, because we are now enforcing the bylaw. Initially, that is years ago, courtesy for boys and girls. It was a small book, very handy, but it was so informative. So those days, it was difficult to see somebody moving around and just throw a paper around. But as a country, now that we are rather aging, instead of doing away with the bad things because of maturity, I don't know why we are still even retrogressing with the way that we do things. But in Kumasi, the time for education is over, because we started last year, and last year, with the help of National Service, we had 150 graduates.
Okay.
And all the 150 graduates were pushed out there just to go and educate the people not to litter. So now that all these exercises have gone on, even though we've not stopped, but now we are limiting the period on the education and concentrating more on the enforcement to make sure that if you litter and you are found, you are going to be in trouble. I don't know where you visited, but I must say that now any place that is temporarily holding up rubbish do not last for a week and is cleared.
And it's not because you're owing waste collectors?
Well, as for owing them, it's a challenge. We owe them.
How much?
We owe them more than we owe them more than 60 million Ghana cedis. We owe them. But yet still, we talk to them. We are constantly talking to them.
To what end? I mean, for how long would they listen to your pleas if you owe them this huge, it's colossal amount of money?
Yeah, you see, in in total indebtedness I met as a chief executive was so huge, but we can't continue to talk about it. We've initiated plans of paying, so they themselves know that even though it's huge, but we started the payment.
Okay.
So gradually we are paying. And at the same time, we are also on the finance minister day in and day out, also asking for bailout. The reason is that, why is it that in other places, the central government assisted them in the payment of such debt, but in Kumasi, for the past 8 years, we were left unattended to. The huge problem that has become our headache, if you go through the records, it was the Ministry of Finance that was paying the debt on behalf of KMA. And it came to a time, that was in 2016, that the government, at that time, the Minister of Finance wrote to KMA that they are challenged and as such cannot pay the money. And KMA should be prepared to pay it. But KMA at that time also did well by writing back to the Minister of Finance, telling the Minister of Finance that, look, you who have budgets, and you've written to us that you are challenged, what about the assembly that has not budgeted for? Okay. So that one became a battle. So when I also came, I've also written back to the Minister of Finance that what is good for the goose is also
best. It's actually sometimes best for the gander.
That is it. So we've also asked him to come to the aid of KMA.
Okay. Now we've just got a few minutes to wrap up. I just want to go into a bit of party politics. Your party, the New Patriotic Party, some of the communicators of the party have not been very happy with a lot of you. But they say that you treat them differently. In fact, you treat them better. What exactly are you doing for these communicators that others should learn from?
Well, in the first place, I think that as human beings as we are not, even though you can come from one mother, but we are not the same. From my record, you know, I have been a journalist before, and as such, my human relationship can be better than some of them, not all of them.
Right.
But all what I can say is that I'm not doing anything extraordinary, except that I constantly engage them and talk to them. So I advise my colleagues that even though the situation will not be what they would have wanted to be, and at the same time, the people are also comparing. They are comparing that the previous government, this is what they were doing for their serial callers. Why are we not getting it? And the same question and the answer also comes to play. We have Nana Akufo-Addo, who is also different from the other president who have been in office. And each have a different style of doing things. And our government is also so young. 1 year in office, we are young. So all what I will advise...
1 year and almost 5 or 6 months.
So the advice I will give to the serial callers is that, one, they are contributing their best in support of the government. But one, they should also take advantage of the numerous opportunities that the government have created. And the other advice I also give to my other colleagues is that they should constantly engage them, talk to them, and let them know where they can also go to source for the opportunities that the government has created. It's not only about giving them money. How much money can you give them? But by helping them to also assess the opportunities, that is going to be the answer to the problem.
And finally, is everything well between the party and the king?
You see, talking about the king do not do politics. The king is a statesman. He is one person who has been there for almost every president and every party that comes into government. The reason is that this kingdom is older than the country Ghana. Ashanti Kingdom is more than 360 years, and Kumasi is more than 345 years. So talking about experience, it means that the kingdom have a lot of experience that the nation Ghana will need. And that is what the current king has been doing. He was an advisor to President Kufuor, advising President Kufuor. When Professor Mills came, it wasn't different. When Professor Mills died and the seat went to President Mahama, nothing changes. So any president that comes in, if only you will take the counsel from the king, he will give it to you. And he's one person who will not hide anything. If it's about NDC, he will say it as it is. And if it's about MPP, he will say it as it is. So at times, when you fall foul, he will reprimand you. So to us, anything of that nature that comes, we take it in good faith.
Okay. Thank you very much for talking to us, Honorable Osei Entry, the Mayor of Kumasi. Pleasure having you, and also thank you for watching State of Affairs.
State of Affairs, brought to you by Cowbell Gold and
everywhere you go, MTN.
GH1 TV, your best experience.
This program contains strong words and is not suitable for persons under the age of 18. Duvet is proudly